What's going on? I just want to talk to you today about two men that were married in high value relationships with women. Basically, they were not they were low value men, but they were married to high value women. Now, when I say high value women, I just pretty much I'm just talking about the women that are high salary, that make between anywhere between $150,000 plus, and they have all of the and in this case, these women, they actually were high value, and even outside of the money, they were very sophisticated women. They were truly high value women. I in the sake of basically not I'm not going to give any names, of course, or anything like that. I'm just going to pretty much give the storyline. I'm not going to mention any names. And maybe I'll just say maybe a fictitious name, because these are actually actual people. Okay. So it's just a unique story, because a lot of times people only get these types of stories via some type of gossip site or something like that. I actually saw it with my own eyes. I actually lived it. I was pretty much ensnared into it. Okay. I was the guy that was called to help go get the U-Haul truck because the relationship was rocky, but I'm going to get into it fairly quickly, because I'm not going to be here that long. This was just a video that I just wanted to kind of, it was just a story that I just wanted to get out, and just kind of just dialogue as far as, what can happen when you actually do get a high value woman. Okay. And what perspectives, you might have that might be faulty. So, for example, in this case, these are two men. Okay, these men. The one man is somebody that I pretty much went to high school with. The other guy was a friend, a childhood friend of my friend that I met in high school. Okay, so they all pretty much, well, both men, they grew up around each other when in a different neighborhood, pretty much. So my friend pretty much, he, when I got out of the Navy, he was he was kind of bouncing around or whatever, and he he met a chick, right? We got back to talking to each other and hanging with each other after I got out of the Navy. And, I was in college, trying to take classes and stuff. We got back in touch with each other. And he had a woman around that, a new love interest or whatever. And they were driving around in a nice little new, I think it was like a Honda Civic or something like that, a Honda Accord. And she lived in some apartment building that close to downtown. And he was telling me about her, and basically she's I won't even put her profession. I'll just say she was let's just say she was someone that was a high degree holder. Okay, because I gotta kind of like change the narrative a little bit, because I don't want to dime anybody out. I mean, it's not a big deal, but in case of this getting out or anything like that, I don't want to tell everybody's tea, but nobody will know what I'm talking about, as far as other than people that actually know me personally and in that case, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, but both of these women, they were high degree holders, and they worked in the same profession. Okay, so the lady that my friend was with, pretty much she, made well over $300,000 a year. Okay, she was very generous at, she pick up my friend. He would be able to even have the car, her vehicle, and do whatever he wanted to with said vehicle. He would pick her up from work. He would pick me up. We would kick it, and then we would also kick it with his girlfriend at the time. And she would, be very generous as well. We would eat at some of the best restaurants in, the Chicagoland area. We were, pretty cool. We would have like to kind of paint the narrative of what type of kind of environment this was, is like, it was probably the closest I've ever been to being in the movie Love Jones. In case you didn't know, the movie Love Jones was filmed in Chicago. Well, in that movie, they used to have like little social gatherings, get-togethers. Well, a lot of times when I was with her friends and I was with my friend, and maybe his brother or his cousin, that was how it was. We socialized. It was like a scene in Love Jones where everybody's drinking, eating, talking about different stuff around the table, playing spades. It was, pretty much like that. But pretty much after, I would say, about a year or two, things got really hot and heavy. And my friend, he let me know his intentions. He was like, basically, I know I got this chick. I mean, she's, pretty much from day one, I knew I had her when she started crying, because for one reason or another, she felt desperate to kind of keep my friend. I guess maybe she had a problem with relationships and stuff like that, and she didn't want my friend to leave, because she in her profession, she carried that on to the first date with my friend. And he said basically the first date they were arguing, and she was basically crying when she got out of the vehicle on the first date. And she said pretty much, I'm sorry, that she apologized and pleaded that he doesn't lose his interest in her. And he said basically, my friend said when she did that, he knew he pretty much had her. Because my friend, I mean, the backstory with him is that one of my friends from high school, he comes from a father. His father was a Mac, he's a drug dealer. He was a hustler. So my friend, he's kind of carries on that a lot of those ways and those teachings from his dad. So being a Mac is something that he knows how to do very well. But as the story goes along, they eventually got married, and they were, over the course of dating and everything, here comes the other man that my friend's childhood friend, right? He got to courting my friend's fiance at the time, one of her like friends, basically. So the now you have two guys that are involved, that they both know each other, and then the actual my friend's fiance, she's going on dates and stuff, double dates with my friend's other friend. I'll just say for the sake of the story to not be so confusing, I'll just say my friend's fiance was Mary. My friend's name is I'll just say Leroy. And then my Leroy's friend is Mike. And then his girlfriend, which is Mary's friend, her name is Celeste. Okay, so my friend Leroy, his friend Mike, basically was dating Celeste. Okay, and Celeste was, she looked pretty good. I just had to say my friend Leroy, his fiance Mary, she was very nice. I mean, she was doable, but she wasn't really that attractive, right? Well, Celeste was, okay. Celeste was a brick house of a woman, okay, with some looks to her, okay. So for Leroy's friend Mike, he was also just like my friend Leroy, and even myself. Just think about how broke I be crying about, being broke and stuff like that. Well, you talking about 17 years ago. I mean, I certainly wasn't doing as well as I'm doing now. So, I was definitely financially challenged 17 years ago. So my friend Leroy, he was, and also his friend Mike, we were all pretty much young broke dudes. But I used to be like in awe of both of them because they got these high value women that make up, pretty much over $150,000, double, if not triple, that amount of money every year. And they're dating these chicks, and pretty much my friend, even before he got married, he the chick moved to a different place. She moved closer to Hyde Park, right? So she got another car. She got a BMW X5, and this is like 2003, 2004. I mean, BMW X5s back then were like, you was the shit if you had a BMW X5, So he was rocking a BMW, driving her car, and then we were picking up women, pretty much, and doing all kind of stuff while she was at work or out of town. And eventually he got married. I was in the wedding, and I saw her side of the family, Mary's side of the family. And things transpired where they were going on trips. She eventually bought him another car, bought him like a Cadillac. And then she even bought their mom, her mother-in-law, Mary's mother-in-law, which is Leroy's mother, a brand new car. Okay. And he had access to her checking account. He had his own debit card. He got his credit. I mean, she got his credit, Leroy's credit, higher. I mean, he's got like an Amex card now. I used to sit back and I just be like, wow, I was just amazed at, how this dude that, we were just so broke, she got with this like pretty much the closest to a rich woman that you probably can get. You know, he actually met her a day before going to go work for UPS. And I don't know what they're paying at UPS now to be a part-time package handler, but back then, I know, for example, they were only paying like $8.50 an hour or $8 an hour. You know, he was going to go work for $8 an hour, you know, working at UPS. He had his work boots on, and that's how he met her. He met her at some club before he was going to work his shift. So he came up, and then over the course of, having these like get-togethers, he basically got his friend Mike, that grew up in his old neighborhood. He got him to meet Celeste, and then he started dating Celeste. Now, this is where the story kind of seesaws as far as, kind of like where he probably, I'm pretty sure that he feels sour about Mike, because Mike ultimately, in the end of the story, because he pretty much prevailed. He came up in the end, whereas my friend Leroy, he went on a decline, because to cut the story short, my friend, he ended up, calling me one day and was like, I need to help me go get a pickup truck. I mean, not a pickup truck, a U-Haul truck, because she caught me cheating. Mary caught me cheating. So I go help him out. I mean, I'm like, dang, man, that's messed up. Well, they ended up reconciling. And then, I was like, they were also talking about starting a business together and stuff like that. And, my friend, he just, worked his job. He had children already. She had no children. Mary, she had some problems with fertility, but, they were trying. I mean, that was, I don't hang with nothing, but I don't hang with lames. Okay. So most of the guys that I know, my friends, we know how to bring it. Okay. So that was one of the reasons why she liked him, Mary, and I'm certain pretty much, Mike as well. You know what I'm saying? So as it just is what it is, man. But where they were just talking about it, I used to think to myself, man, why are you talking about it? This woman has all of this money. Why don't you just start something? I mean, she has the money. I mean, they were talking about buying another building and all of this type of stuff, and nothing pretty much transpired. So Mary catches Leroy cheating again, and she just pretty much got pissed, okay? And all the while, Mike, he's having a good time with Celeste. He's like, having a whirlwind romance with Celeste, and then things are getting rocky with Leroy and Mary. So after the dust settled, this is how pretty much the tea kind of went off. The tea was brewed, per se. So what ended up happening was, and I'm sure Leroy is still bitter today about Mike. Once everything transpired where Leroy was cutting things off with Mary, and it was just really, really, really sad of a situation. It was like just terrible. I'm like, dude, what are you, Mary offered Leroy $20,000 to just walk to have an uncontested divorce, pretty much. And Leroy just took it. He said basically he just took the money because, you know, he knew that, you know, he didn't really have that much ground to stand on, and he didn't really want to contest it. And he might have been right, because, see, here's the thing, because the grounds of what Mary divorced off of was that he was, he was committing acts of infidelity. Okay, in a marriage, and a judge, sees that, typically she or he or she sides with the wife in that case, where the grounds of her divorce is pretty much warranted. So he would not really have that much to gain if he lost a long, lengthy court battle, right? So he took the $20,000 and he moved back to his mom's, house and shit. And I just thought about that, and I was like, damn, I mean, you seen the miracles that I do with less money, and it's like, if I got $20,000, oh my God, man. I mean, well, this was before I really knew anything about trading too heavily or whatever. This was before my trading days, and definitely before my real estate days, but I was licking my chops to get into real estate. I just didn't have the funding. I had nowhere near $20,000, let alone $2,000 at one time. I mean, I had 2,000, but nowhere near even 10,000, let alone 20. But he had 20, and I thought that was still enough to do something. And then I also would just think to myself, Leroy, why in the hell did you not start a freaking business while you were married, to do something or do anything to transition yourself to be set up in case the relationship expires? But he, pretty much he didn't, and it was what it was. And meanwhile, this is where the bitterness towards Mike became, where Leroy became bitter with Mike. On one hand, so Mike pretty much became the victor in this situation, because not only did he win with Celeste, Mike got one of his friends to ultimately sleep with Leroy's wife, which is Mary, and she was dating Mike's one of his best friends. So it's kind of like a situation where, in hindsight, Leroy probably would have never told Mike anything, would have never introduced Mike to Celeste. Because, see, here's the thing about matchmaking, okay? And it is a conversation with this, and some, people have been talking about this. This has been a topic that people have been talking since, I think, Bernard Riley's show, okay? I think it was like either Thursday or Friday. Well, matchmaking is something that, you gotta, if you're gonna do it, you definitely want to be careful if you have anything to lose in this case. Because, see, what happened was Leroy, if he never introduced Mike to his basically his inner circle, which was his wife, at the time, even before he was married, fiance Mary, and Mary's friends, which was Celeste and a lot of different other women. Even I was talking to one of Mary's friends or whatever that she worked with, or whatever, one of her colleagues. And I was trying to do something, but I just didn't fare well or whatever. It turned out to be kind of a situation where it was like, I was a little bit too nice for her at the time. I mean, this was back when I really didn't I didn't really know that much about, like, I was red pill as far as knowledge back in 2007, 2008. But I wasn't red pill as far as the understanding of women until pretty much I got on YouTube back in, like, I mean, I want to say recent, like 2015, 2016. That's when I started, you know, really, to be honest, when I started listening to a lot of people in the Black Manosphere, primarily BGS Itmore, Black Ram 313, a lot of even other guys before even BGS, Thug Titian, you know, just different guys that were just kind of talking about different things or whatever. Turd Flinging Monkey. You know, I really didn't understand a lot of things in hypergamy. I never heard of hypergamy before. I've never heard of a lot of these things. Like, these things were new to me. Like, I was game goofy as hell, very smart, right? But I was very game goofy because I did not understand a lot of these terms. I didn't understand a lot of what was going on. So I say all that to say basically that, you know, my friend, you know, I looked at how he dealt with that situation and just basically how he got her, his fiance, and then also ultimately him making the decision to be very social, because my friend, he's a very social guy, right? He's very extroverted. He's a very social guy. So he bringing his friends into the mix is something that he just does. That's what he does. He's, you know, pick. He used to pick me up. We kick it, you know. You know, he just was a very social guy, man. And his decision, like I say, to bring Mike in, ultimately did him in, because Mike had no loyalty at all towards Leroy. He, you know, pretty much I would have to say that Mike was just out for himself. You know, Mike, he didn't give a hell about nothing but his own interests. And at the same time, Mike was smarter than Leroy. And as far as his dealings with women and just trying to utilize a woman, Mike was on another level with his way of kind of dealing with things as far as Celeste, right? And then you know, Celeste was pretty much, I'd have to say, she's kind of easy for me to kind of deal with. If I had to deal with the two, I would have wanted to deal with Celeste, because a very good-looking, high-value woman, a very highly attractive, high-value woman, would be very easy for me to kind of deal with, because not so much easy, but I wouldn't have to necessarily fake it to be like, you know, let's just say this: if I was trying to get a woman for her money, a woman that I'm attracted to would be easy for me to deal with than some woman that I'm not that highly attracted to. But I would have to say, in both of those women, Celeste and Mary, I was attracted to both of them. I was just more highly attractive to Celeste. And the way I would have done it would have been way better than even how Mike did it. Because I'm just sitting back observing, right? Because I'm already business focused. I went to college for business. You know, I know how to utilize a woman, you know, and her money. I mean, I learned that from my mother. I mean, so, like, it was just amazing to me to see how my friend Leroy just did not know how to do that. And he just wanted just cars and clothes and credit cards and shit like that, which what he got. And then just to have sex with more women, where I'm like, damn, dude, you can literally set yourself up for the rest of your life, no matter if you with Mary or not, you would be, you know, rich, just utilizing your wife, your woman, that she's giving you basically the golden key to her bank account and her capital. She's literally an angel, and a kind of a very low tiered angel investor. You don't know how to utilize that. You just want clothes and women to jock you, and then cars and shit, when you could just get all of that. Well, like I say, long story short, Mike is still married to Celeste. Okay, we talking about, you know, this story started 17 years ago. Mike is still with Celeste. Now, Mike's friend basically start fucking Leroy's you know, wife. And then, you know, imagine, and he couldn't do anything about it. He was pissed off, but he couldn't do anything about it because Mike, you know, he ain't no Rudy Poo or nothing like that. And, you know, it just was a situation where he thought he was dealing with somebody that was cool, but Mike probably was looking at it like, man, shoot, I could just get rid of it. I can get rid of him by just getting one of my friends to go, you know, deal with his ex-wife. Because at the end of the day, Mike was a low-key, Mike pretty much was he was a street dude, but he didn't seem like a street dude. But he was a street dude and an ex-athlete, and you know what I'm saying, he just pretty much finessed the situation, and kind of like, you know, Leroy was like, God damn me, why did I even bring this dude in this situation? Because I mean, he just like did me bogus, and then also he's still winning, and I'm back in my mom's house, and I blew through the $20,000, and now I got to go back to work doing odd jobs and being broke again, you know. And it's like, you know, he to this day, I'm sure he's still sour about that. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I bet you he's sour about that. And then the thing is, Mike, he has used the situation to better himself. He did some street promotions, and then also like he was like kind of getting people to go to nightclubs and shit like that. And then he also he went back to school to learn. Like right now, I think he learned IT or some shit like that. And his wife is still making tons and tons of money. He's still married to her. They don't have any kids together, which is, I don't know what's going on with that, but he already had kids prior to the relationship as well. But the way Mike is dealing with it is like I look at him like basically he's using it to strengthen his scale, because at the time we were both, I would say all three of us was like 87 octane dudes. And I mean, now my friend Leroy, he's an 89 type. You know, I'm an 89. I'm trying to get higher as well. And Mike, he's trying to, and that's what I would have tried to do. I would have tried to get close to my spouse. You know, his spouse was a 92. That and then Celeste also was a 92. Okay, Mike right now is trying to get on her level. He's not there yet. It'll take him time to probably get that level. He might not never, but he's utilizing that relationship, that comfortability to actually get higher up the scale in life. Whereas Leroy, he just wanted to fuck bitches, and it was fun, but you know, he wanted to just, you know, get a car, get some clothes, get some money, you know, just kind of be like Big Willie, right? Whereas he could have just got a, you know, transition into getting a business or doing something. He could have just like got like a laundromat, and he would have been able to do all of that, and then still had the laundromat, you know. And it's just now he probably understands. But, you know, he's doing same shit like that I do, like doing Uber Eats and Uber and shit like that. And his ex-wife makes, at the time, 17 years ago, she was making over $350,000 a year. I'm sure she's making probably $500,000, or if not a millionaire by now. And he's doing Uber Eats, you know. I mean, so like, yeah, and working as like, he got his degree and he's working in his profession. But the thing is like Mike is still married, and his wife does the same thing as Mary, and makes the same amount of money, and if not more. And you know, Mike's still with it. Whereas, you know, Leroy, he's just looking on the outside, looking in, and he let this guy come into this relationship, and Mike was able to do it better. It's kind of like, you know, let's say you got a job and you hire one of your friends to do the job, to do the same job, like to get hired on at the company, and then your friend come in. He starts he works the job well, better than you, and then gets promoted, and then sends somebody to pretty much help you get fired. Wouldn't you be bitter about that? I mean, I'm just asking. But you know, that's pretty much the tale. That's the story. That's all I wanted to talk about. You know, it really is. I don't have to show you anything or any. This is just a real life anecdotal story of two men, you know, that married high value women. I saw it firsthand. Okay. Was I a little jealous? I mean, it was moments of jealousy. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to be, man, with a woman like that, because I would have took that money. I would have got into real estate. I would have been doing what I would do right now. I would have been doing it. I mean, how successful I would have been, you know, that's neither here nor there. I mean, it didn't happen, but the aspirations that I have now is I still had similar aspirations when I was younger, of course. So it was just like, you know, my friend, he just didn't utilize, you know, what he had in a way that I would, basically. And in hindsight, I know he would have done it. You know, he would have done it differently now, but you know, it's already too late, you know. So that's all I had. You know, I just, you know, had to lock this in because I just wanted to tell the story. It's a very interesting story. And you know, whatever you get from it, you get from it, you know. And definitely you know, check out my new book, Millionaire Savings Plan. You know, that's something that's helped me and will probably most likely help you as well. And that will be in the link of all my future videos. I'll try to put them in all of my videos, but I'm not going to even probably do that. I'll just go from where I'm at now and just start putting them in all of my videos. So yeah, definitely cop that. It's on paperback as well as Kindle, the Millionaire Savings Plan, you know. So, you know, you could pretty much, you know, create your own destiny. You don't have to necessarily you know, get any type of woman to help you or whatever. You can help yourself and then get confidence from that, you know. But this is all I have. This is just what I want to get off and let you know. You know, definitely you are welcome to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Have a good one.